What's up, guys? Chris here with CNC for Newbies and Croft CNC. Um, but I wanted to go over some quick tips and tricks for you guys that are having issues with Y rails. Um, some of the big things that I come across with multiple machines um, in terms of multiple manufacturers, but um, but that have dual Y rails and dual Y motors. Um, there are a couple issues that I usually have pretty consistent problems with that I check on people's machines whenever they say they have an issue. Um, one of the first things is I'm going to turn my camera around. Let's see. Camera front to the back. Done. Okay. So one of the first things is uh, parallelism for the Y1 and the Y2 rail. Okay. Um, Typically, what I'll do is I'll put my base frame in and I'll have that put together but loose. Okay. And then I'll put my Y1 in and I'll tighten that front and back. Okay. So that is tight. Y1 is established as tight. Then Y2 I put in, but I snug it. I don't make it finish tightened. Okay. And whenever I do that, I put the gantry on. And the reason I put the gantry on is I want to check for parallelism and spread. So I'll move the gantry all the way to the back and I'll tighten one back screw or one back bolt on Y2. Then I'll move it to the front like it is now, and I'll tighten two on the front. Okay. At that point, my spread is set correctly, and I don't have any bulging or pulling issues with the frame because these crossbars are loose. So now that also sets the length of the base for me. Okay. Um, and then from there I move all of my excess. I touch the front of the bracing here, and I tighten uh, both corners. I tighten this side and this side of the corner brackets. Okay. Then I move to the back, and I'll loosen. I'll tighten this one, but I'll loosen this one, and I'll allow that to move a little bit, and take up a little bit of the slack or give me a little bit of slack if this back rail needs to be straight. Okay. So none of these spreader bars are going to be tight until I have Y1 and 2 correctly spread and the distance. All right. So that'll take care of a lot of things. Another issue that we run into a lot is set screws for the spider couplers or Lovejoy couplers. Um, you are going to uh, make sure that when you put the set screws in this coupler, okay, that um, you put them on the flat of the motor. Okay, you want it on the flat of the motor, and as you can see, well, you can't see, but mine is on the flat. Okay, um, and there should be two set screws in each motor mount for Y, X, and Z. All right. Um, another issue that we run into a lot with machines with linear bearings and anti-backlash nuts or ball nuts is uh, maintenance, greasing. Greasing and oiling are imperative. Um, you will have binding and flattening of the bearings if you do not grease these things correctly. So for this, that middle screw right there pulls out, and you just take a grease gun with a very small fine tip right here, okay, and you get in there, and as you can see, I've got in it and on it. But we use the red crimson grease uh, from Valvoline. Heavy wear grease. Um, like the Lucas grease. And then a lot of guys own way of doing the screws. I always oil the linear rails and lead screws. On wheel machines, you don't have to worry about that as much. So just be aware of that. And then uh, buy this nylock nut. People get to turning it and they actually overload the bearings and compress the bearings and cause binding issues. Um, that's another big issue is binding here at the bearing behind this nylock nut. um, and then the last issue is people start messing around with this anti-backlash nut, okay, and they change the tension on this. This is a wearable item, okay? It will need to be spread out, but not spread out so much that it binds up. Conversely, it doesn't need to be pushed in so far that it binds up, okay? So if you're getting intermittent binding, it might be because this brass nut assembly is too tight, and if you're getting too much play, it's because this is too loose. And to adjust it, there's a very quick short video uh, on this on CNC for Newbies website where they show how to tighten it in and how to loosen it. Um, and then uh, I'll be doing some more stuff on this, showing you um, kind of what we're looking at. So, and how to adjust preload on it and everything like that. But those are kind of, it's not just for the y-axis. The greasing, the maintenance, the uh, backlash adjustment, and stuff like that works for the X and Z also. But a lot of the spread issues and the turning of the nylock nut happens on the y-axis for some reason. And I just wanted to put that out there for guys to be able um, to do that. Uh, I want you to have an awesome operating machine, and nobody can do that if their y-axes are not parallel and spread properly. So, um, just something to think about, something to look at on your machines whenever you're doing this stuff. Okay, guys, I hope you have a good night, and I will talk to you soon.